All right, I want to do a quick video for somebody I know. They were asking me some questions, and they said, "How do you view yourself? How do you view yourself racially or ethnically?" I view myself as being mixed. My father's black and my mother's white. Um, a lot of black people would say I was black just because my father's black. A lot of black people would say some black people would say I was white. Some black people would say I was just mixed. A lot of white people would look at me, might say I'm black or I'm mixed or I'm white. I think a lot of mixed people who are mulatto have some sort of psychological issue about their identity. I've seen a lot of people who are mixed and even a lot of people who are black. They think being black means talking more ghetto or talking more inner city. And you even see a lot of white guys doing that. I've been around black people my whole life, right? That's my family. And, technically I am black. My father's black. But I don't think I don't like when people sag their pants and try to talk with a lot of slang and all that stuff. A lot of people who are mixed or black do that because they think it's making them look more aggressive. It's making them look more in control. And even a lot of white guys do it. I've seen a lot of white guys try to act black, not even necessarily black, because there's a lot of black people who speak proper grammar and dress real nice, and they don't try to pass themselves off as being ghetto. They're black, but they just be themselves. And that's how I view myself, just being myself. I don't need anybody's approval about who they think I am or how they perceive me. I don't care what somebody else's mind says about me. And I think a lot of white guys try to act black and sag their pants and stuff because I think they're afraid of black people. And a lot of white guys who act like that, those are the types of white guys who go to prison and end up sucking some black guy's dick because they want to talk black and act black. A lot of mixed guys do that too. A lot of mixed guys think they have to act more ghetto in order to get approved by black people. And I think it looks stupid. I think people should be if you're around black people a lot and you're mixed, sometimes you might sound more black naturally, depending on the type of mood you're in, because people's attitudes change, right? But I think the way a lot of mixed people portray themselves, they're afraid to speak how they want to speak. They got to have some sort of ghetto slang. And I'm from a small town in Michigan, and in reality, even some of the people who pretend to be hard and stuff, like the people from the black community who are black, there's a lot of cities out there like Chicago or Los Angeles where some little short Mexican gangbanger would just whoop their ass. I know people in the Hispanic community in LA who are 10 times more dangerous than anybody in the Mesquite. They would just take off on them, some of the Hispanic gang members in Los Angeles, they call black people derogatory names. They'll call you a nigger or something like that, and they'll take off on you and hit you in your mouth. They don't people aren't afraid. If you go to the inner city, people aren't afraid of people just because they're ghetto or they're black. That's more of some ignorant ass small town stuff where people have to portray themselves as being something they're not. They got to be something they're not 24/7, and that's how I look at a lot of mixed people. If somebody's well read and well spoken, that should be respected. Somebody shouldn't be more respected for trying to sound ignorant. They should be more respected for trying to sound like who they are. Some of my friends, there's a guy, he wrote a book called The Autobiography of an LA Gang Member. He doesn't go out of his way to portray himself as being ignorant. He's Sanika Shakur. He's well read. He wrote a book. He authored a book. He's more well read than me, I'm sure. And he has a good vocabulary, and nobody makes fun of him. I bet you none of these guys in Muskegon Heights who go out of the way, I bet you nobody will make fun of him. He'll break your fucking he'll haul off and break your fucking face in half. And so I think there's a problem. I think that's one of the bigger problems in the black community is people are programmed as children to think that being ignorant and being in prison is somehow successful. Being ignorant means you're successful or something. And if somebody naturally grows up like that, then that's natural. But for somebody to purposely try to make themselves look more ignorant, That's what the establishment wants. That's what the people who run the prison system, that's what they want. They want black people to sound ignorant and have their pants sagging and sell drugs. That's what, you know what I mean? In reality, they're promoting the people who are oppressing the black community. In reality, they're promoting their oppressors by doing that. But that's my feeling on mixed people and people who are act white and black. Like, I don't who's that? There's a rapper out there, Lil Dicky. Lil Dicky's a rapper, and Lil Dicky does rap songs with Snoop Dogg. He does rap songs with a lot of different people, and he's well respected because of how the way he acts. He acts like himself. He doesn't pretend to put on an act and behave like somebody else. He blends in with the environment around him, and you know what I mean? You know, he doesn't pretend to be somebody else. He bees himself and interacts with the environment around him like a normal person. Now, to be honest with you, a lot of real ghetto black people like that kind of stuff. They like having white friends who speak proper. They like having people who can be themselves. Little Dicky could probably end up getting invited by some super thugs would probably see Little Dicky and end up inviting him to a party because they see he's being himself. That'd be funny. In the hood, that'd be funny to have somebody like Little Dicky around, a white guy who can rap real good, who speaks proper English. It'd be funny to have him around, like not laughing at him, but it would be cool to have him around. It's something different. Like people from the hood who've been in the hood their whole life, it's not going to impress them to see some white guy talking ghetto. You know what I mean? That don't mean nothing to them. It's going to impress them to see somebody, you know, be themselves and somebody who's authentic. You know, that's what's impressive. So, like, who else is out there? Who else is out there? Like Malcolm X. Look at Malcolm X. Look how Malcolm X went. Malcolm X got out of the penitentiary, and Malcolm X spoke proper grammar. Malcolm X did everything he could not to be white. Like Malcolm X was pro-black, and he addressed himself as being pro-black, but he was well-mannered. He spoke intelligibly. He was sophisticated. He had excelled, but he wasn't doing it to look white. He was being himself. And so that's one of the things. Somebody was asking me that, how do I view that? I view myself as being me. I don't need no like wannabe pretend people, like, you know what I mean, like some fake stuff where if you don't act black, you know, I don't give a fuck about acting. I act like Jameel. I don't give a fuck about acting like somebody else.